But guys, if you've come here for an NRL fantasy video, this is the time to step away to another video, click away from this one. This one here is about how do you build a long and sustained, beautiful marriage. So I don't know, I'm on to my third right now, how good they can be and how to sustain one. But we're talking about the great man, Jason Taumalolo. It's been an interesting month between us. There was, so he did something that was disappointing. He broke my trust. I thought I could put all my faith in you, Jace. To come up with a 21 and an 8, getting injured, missing a game. Came down to the tough times in any relationship, any marriage, that you had to have that conversation. I was like, look, this is where we're at. I love you. I want to be with you, but things have to change, right? And look what he does. He comes out, and he changes, and we're still happily married forever to this day. Jace, I'll never lose faith in you again. I did for a moment, but thankfully we had that chat. We stuck steady, and here we are, another 66. Okay, now we can briefly talk about fantasy, but there's basically no one relevant in this game apart from those top couple of guys. So we'll start with Jace. The stats here are wrong, by the way. We've got a bunch with no stats here. Anywho, doesn't matter. Big minutes for Jace, 74 minutes this week. It was an incredible stint. 2 weeks in a row now he's played the big minutes, which is what we're looking for from him, and it is why he was such a dominant fantasy player of recent time. And for those that brought him in this week, there was a few people that asked me, and I thankfully think I pushed you towards him. Just at that cheaper price of $559, he had plenty to offer. He's definitely a 700k player, so missing round 17 was the only real issue. But if you brought him in last week or whatever he did, awesome work. But great to see him back. So Cotter maybe reduces his minutes a little bit over the next few weeks, but generally, if he's going to get over 60, I think we're sweet with him. And the run meters, the tackling's there, the nice line break in there as well. So that was spectacular. And we'll speak about Robson, and he's clearly become one of the top sort of 3 to 5 hookers in this game. And if you didn't go for Reed this week and you went for Reece, even better. If you went for him last week, that was obviously the ultimate time to bring him in, especially when we found out that Granville wasn't going to be taking any of his minutes. And, it was a really good time to bring in Reece. And the 80 minutes and the 71 points with the try, he's just in defense. He's working so hard. I think, his work ethic, Cotter's work ethic, a lot of the guys there, just that stat of them only conceding like 40 odd points in 14 second halves this year is absolutely incredible for a Cowboys team where I'm used to watching them. In previous years, a team gets into their 20 and instantly scores. So it's an absolute breath of fresh air. Not that the Dragons were any good last night at all, but just in general, his effort, you can see it's rubbing off on everyone there. So well done to Reece. And if you have him in your side, you're absolutely cheering. We'll speak about Drinky just briefly as well. He had a terrific game as well. He's kicking the ball, he's assisting, he's getting really involved in everything. Plenty of run meters as well. So Drinky's been great after that, really light week or two. The last 2 weeks he's absolutely dominated. So if you picked him up last week, you're cheering as well with that one. We had Sully, a great game as well. Lemilu had a terrific game off the bench. Too big, too strong in that last try. Benny Hunt was an interesting one. He really got involved. Plenty of tackle breaks and stuff across the game. This stats is wrong there, but he was about 3 at halftime or close to it, and then really had a dominant start to the second half. So Benny was terrific in the end, and you get that 51, which is what you're hoping for at a minimum. Backing up from Origin for someone who's 617k. So I decided to trade him out of the head-to-head squad rather than and keep Hastings. So it'll be interesting to see how that one works out. Obviously, Benny will be out in 17 as well, but that's just generally the chat around Benny. Lomax ended up scoring okay, but he had a pretty tough game, to be honest. That's probably the worst. As much as I love him and his talent, that was one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. So he'll be better for that. You'd hope so, but we're all at a bit of a shocker at some point. That flick pass was obviously just not on, but you can understand why he goes for that in a team that's really struggling. You kind of you want to pull off a bit of brilliance and get your team back in the game, and obviously just push them back another peg or two. And I love watching Jaden Sewer play. He's again too big, too strong kind of player. He's going to be great. So good to see him back in that 19 jersey off the bench. Picked up a try there and did really well. Holmesy was nice with 38. We had Jackie Bird with 37. A few people asked about him. He's just a little bit of a turnstile sometimes on defense, and just there are too many negatives to go along with not running the ball enough. It's just not for me anyway. And then really the only guys I need to talk about down below is Tommy Gilbert. So a lower score from him. It's time to move him on. So that 27 means that's it for him. He's not going to be playing 17. He's not a keeper, so time to move him on. Congrats to Ruben as well, who made his debut. I was reading some stats last night. He's played well over 100 Queensland Cup games for well over 100 tries as well. So for him to get his debut at 29 or 30 or whatever he was, very exciting for him, and well done. He had a pretty solid game, to be honest. Amone, the other one we need to speak about there, the 23, again, not great when you're looking. Some people are looking to pick him up this week, heading into round 17. That 23, not good enough. That one really nice try assist to Su'a was really good, but that was kind of his only shining light in the game. It's just very hard for him to really show his skills, and in a team where they're just not good enough, to be honest. What's that? Michael Molo with 22 is what we kind of expect. He actually had a few more minutes than we would have thought in that pack, because Maguire played only the 23 minutes or whatever it was. But yeah, Molo, not good enough if you're looking to pick him up as a cash cow. And then Heilum Luki, unfortunately, sounds like an ACL injury. So he's been having a terrific season, and very sad to see that. That's for sure. So hopefully he can get a good recovery, and hopefully be back pretty close to the start of next season, or maybe early in the rounds, which would be ideal, because I'd love to see him in this team that's doing really well. Get some spoils for all his hard work. And our last one to talk about is the Hammer. Just had a pretty tough game, to be fair. 6 points for him. I have a couple of nice runs, but he doesn't really get involved enough on the wing, so definitely not an option for those that were thinking about him. But that's that video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the love story, and you can take a bit of that advice away into your marriages. For those that didn't get the joke, I am not married, have never been married, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. See you in the next video, guys.